Greetings, brothers, sisters. Greetings, class. They said, well, somebody say, it's Saturday night. When does Pastor Johnson come in on a Saturday night? Well, normally I don't come on a Saturday night. Y'all know that. I normally don't come on a Saturday night. However, you know, I'm checking my email, and I got several from my Messianic brothers. Shout out to my Messianic Jews. I want my brothers and sisters over there to know that when we bring forth a lesson, we bring forth a lesson through the word, and it's not to go against the word. The word cannot go against the word. It's just not designed to be that way. So back before I came into the full understanding of the feast days, in other words, you can observe something but not know why you do it, or not have the full picture as to why you do it. But you've read it and you just do it. And I think that's a good start. It's a very good start in whatever we do, is to get a start. So I came home, and based upon the lesson that I did last night that was titled, Were the Commandments Given on Pentecost? Let's Examine. It sparked a lot of stuff. So I'm looking at my email, and I want to deal with those that feel as if something was done blasphemously. And let me just say, no, it wasn't. However, I respect anybody that feels that if you don't know, that you could think that lesson was blasphemous. But it wasn't. So that's why I retitled the lesson. I retitled it, Were the Commandments Given on Pentecost? Let's go even deeper. So we can really go deeper on that, okay? Just for a few. And I didn't want to waste any time with it. So we can really go deeper. 1 second, I'm getting my Facebook. Just for a few. And I didn't want to waste any time with it. So we can really go deeper. 1 second, I'm getting my Facebook. Just for a few. And I didn't want to waste any time with it. So we can really go deeper. 1 second, I'm getting my Facebook. Just for a few. And I didn't want to waste any time with it. So we can really go deeper. 1 second, I'm getting my Facebook. Just for a few. Okay, there we go. So let's deal with that real quick. It won't take long. What I put forth last night, if you don't know, and you've been used to people saying that Pentecost is the giving of the law, and if that's what you've heard, I understand if you say or hear someone else that comes back and say, how can you say that? That's blasphemous. That the commandments were not given on Pentecost. Pentecost is the giving of the law. And that's what people, those that had responded in the email, had felt. And there were several. And there's a group that knows me, so although it came from several people, it was from one group, and I want to deal with that. I don't want to. It's not the point of calling it out is not that, but I wanted to come back and show even deeper why Pentecost is not the giving of the law. First of all, and again, as I said earlier, shout out to all my Messianic brothers. In the quest of being different from mainstream Christendom, and you come into the knowledge of the Sabbath and the feast days, and there's no other source that you know of, or there's no other group that you know of that is bringing clarity to this information, I understand why some people just jump over to what you know is the people of the book. I mean, they're the Jewish people. They should know. They should know. So when you go look at their doctrine and they say Pentecost is the giving of the law, it sounds okay to jump onto because you're coming new into the commandments. Little background noise. So I can understand when you say, well, it's the giving of the law. People are talking about the giving of the law. This is great. This is great. And it sounds so good that it's the giving of the law that you say, oh man, that's why we keep Pentecost. It's the giving of the law. So when you hear something coming from someone that is teaching the feast days, that Pentecost has nothing to do with the giving of the law, you say, wow. Not to everybody. This is to my Messianic brothers and sisters. So it's understandable that you go to the source that you think knows that understanding. Here's the problem. Until you see the Messiah, Jesus, in the scriptures, from that perspective, you won't see Pentecost the way it's supposed to be seen. You will not see Passover as Jesus being the Lamb of God because you don't see Jesus. So you're getting information from folk who don't see Jesus as being the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. You're getting information from individuals not making that connection. Like the disciples got that connection. So I'm going to dig a little bit deeper, but I got to show you, you can't see it until you see that the scriptures testify of Jesus. So let's go to this scripture in the book of Luke. I did it last night, but I'm going to go a little bit slower, not too slow, because I'm just doing this as I close out the Sabbath. Okay? So let's go. Let's do this. And we're going to go to Luke 24. This is when Mary Magdalene went to the grave. So let's read it. Now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came into the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them. This is after 3 days and 3 nights. This is when Passover was on the 14th of Abib, which happened to have fallen on a Wednesday. 3 days and 3 nights later, because that's how long Jesus would be in the grave, as Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights, he resurrected on the Sabbath. That's the lesson in and of by itself. When Jesus resurrected, it's now the first day of the week. Mary is going there to bring some spices. However, when you look at verse number 6, he's not there, he's risen, he's already gone. And the angel said, he's not here, he's risen. Remember how he spake unto you when he was yet in Galilee, saying, the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men and be crucified, and the third day rise again. So it's already done. The resurrection has already taken place when she got there on the first day of the week. Those that are coming in, shout out to you. Again, we're just dealing with the emails, which I call a little backlash on the lesson from last night. That Pentecost is not the giving of the law. Pentecost has nothing to do with the giving of the law. And I want to show that to you. I want to go down to show you the timeline that what happened when Jesus had already resurrected. And we're going to start back at verse 24. And certain of them which were with us went into the sepulchre and found it even so as the woman had said, but they saw not. This is the story where these two guys, one was named Cleophas, and Jesus saw them walking after he had resurrected. And he asked them what things were going on. And they said unto him, because they seemed to be sad as they were walking, having this conversation. And they said, are you a stranger in Jerusalem, and has not known the things which are come to pass in these days? He said unto them, what things? And they said, concerning Jesus of Nazareth. Now they don't know that they're speaking to Jesus, which was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people, and how the chief priests and our rulers delivered him to be condemned to death, and have crucified him. But we have trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. And beside all this, today is the third day since these things were done. Now Jesus goes on, and they told him how the women went back to the sepulchre and shared with them that his body was gone. So they telling Jesus this story. This is what Jesus says to them in verse 25. He said unto them, O fools and slow of mind, slow of heart, to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Now, why do I bring this up? I say this to my Messianic brothers and sisters who are coming into the Sabbath and feast days. You may have went to the Jewish people to get your information, but all of the information is not correct unless they see Christ in the scriptures. This is why they don't see Jesus as being the Passover lamb, because they still are looking for a Jesus to come when the Jesus has already came. So because of that, this statement here don't make sense to them. But Jesus, and it didn't make sense to a lot of people. So then Jesus has to say, O fools and slow of heart, to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Ought not Christ to have suffered these things and enter into his glory? And so what Jesus had to do, he said, shouldn't y'all understand that? So because they didn't, he had to begin at Moses and all the prophets. He had to go back into all the scriptures and expound unto them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself. He went back and said, wait a minute. And I can only proffer what may have took place. I was killed on Passover. That's because I'm the Passover lamb. Isaiah the prophet said, I would be wounded for your transgressions, bruised for your iniquities. That's why they did to me on the cross on Wednesday what they did. Because the Lord have laid upon me the iniquity of the whole world. So he's teaching them and he's showing them in the scriptures the things concerning himself. Now, after Jesus got ready to leave, check this out. In verse 30, it came to pass, as he sat at meat with them, he took bread, blessed it, brake it, and gave it to them. Look at what happens. And their eyes were open. They realized we're talking to Jesus. And they knew him, and he vanished out of their sight. Now, you know what made the conversation, there was a high point in their conversation? This is what they said. And they said one to another, did not our heart burn within us? Didn't our mind, wasn't it stimulated while he talked to us by the way? And while he opened to us the scriptures, he made the scriptures plain. He showed us some things that happened to him. They were all prophetic. And this is the Messiah, because he's opened up the scriptures. Now, let's skip down here. And I'm saying that if you don't understand that the scriptures and the feast days are all pointing and surrounding Christ and salvation, you won't understand feast days. When you don't connect Christ to it, what you start to do is stuff like Pentecost is the giving of the law. That's the day that the law was given. But we don't read that in the scriptures. Pentecost is all about the gathering of the harvest, the first fruits. And we're going to show that to you. Has nothing to do with the giving of the law. Let's keep going. And this is now Jesus coming in to speak to his disciples. While he was speaking with his disciples, he went in, joined them, the door was shut, and he goes in and starts to ministering to them. They thought they saw a ghost. And being astonished, he starts to talk to them. And let's pick it up in verse 44. And he said unto them, listen, these are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all these things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses and in the prophets and in the Psalms concerning me. What things was that? Well, not a bone would be broken, the book of Psalms. The fact, the words that I spoke, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? That's in Psalms 22:1. Betrayed it by an old familiar friend. That was Judas. When the prophet says it would be for 30 pieces of silver, that's what Judas sold me out for. That was not coincidence. Those are the things written in the law of Moses and in the prophets and in the Psalms concerning me. Look at what happened next in verse 45. Then opened he their understanding that they might understand the scriptures. If you don't understand that Christ is the first fruits, you won't understand Pentecost. Let's go show you why. Let's go to 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter. 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter. And all we're doing is digging a little bit deeper so that my Messianic brothers and sisters can see this.
He's here.
Okay.
So I'm going to call and make the reservation.
That's my daughter. So let's go to this. Let's see what the issue was in the Corinthians. In the Corinthians, and I got my brother coming in, Brother Larry. He was joining with us today, and I'm going to tell him to scoot that bench over and he's coming over to watch us do this live while we just sitting here. So let's go into this. So we can see what Pentecost is all about. 1 Corinthians 15:12. This Pentecost and the first fruits is all about the resurrection. You don't know that until you see Christ. That's why Jesus said, all the law, all the prophets, all the Psalms speak concerning me. So let's go back and look at that. Verse 12. Now if Christ be preached that he rose from the dead, how say some among you that there is no resurrection of the dead? But if there be no resurrection of the dead, then is Christ not risen? And if Christ be not risen, then is our preaching vain, and your faith also vain. Yea, we are found false witnesses of God, because we have testified of God that he raised up Jesus, whom he raised not up, if so be that the dead rise not. So then he goes on and says, for if the dead rise not, then is not Christ raised. And if Christ be not raised, your faith is in vain, ye are yet in your sins. Then they also which are fallen asleep in Christ are simply perished. They'll never get up again, because the resurrection don't exist. And then he says, if in this life only we have hope in Christ, we are of all men most miserable. But look at what he says in verse 20. But now is Christ risen from the dead and become the first fruits of them that sleep. This first fruits we can take all the way back to the feast of the first fruits. And we're going to do that because this is about resurrection, and so is the feast of the first fruits. Pentecost comes counting after the feast of the first fruits, because that is the first harvest of the resurrected. That's the year that the Lord is going to come and grab his harvest. Listen to this. For since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of dead. Adam caused everybody to die. Jesus came to cause the people can be resurrected from the dead. Yes, brothers and sisters, you will be resurrected if you die in Christ. For as in Adam all die, even so in Christ shall all be made alive. But every man in his own order. Christ is the first fruits. Afterward, they that are Christ at his coming. So that is the first fruits. Let's go see the first fruits in Leviticus. Let's go to Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. Because these words that Jesus is using and the apostles are using is dealing from the scriptures. They are teaching from the scriptures. So let's go to Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, and we're going to pick it up in about verse number 9. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when you come into the land which I give unto you, I want you to reap the harvest thereof. And when you get your harvest out of the ground, see, when you are resurrected, brothers and sisters, you are the harvest that is being planted until you are going to be reaped. Jesus is the first of the first fruits that has been planted in the ground that has become that harvest. So let's keep going. When you get your harvest, you got to bring a sheaf of your first fruits of your harvest to the priest. And that priest has to wave the sheaf, which is a measurement of your harvest, to be accepted for you on the morrow after the Sabbath. The priest shall wave it. I'm staying with first fruits and showing you that that's Christ first. So we're going to go to John, the 20th chapter, so you can see that there is a connection with you got to bring a sheaf of your first fruits on the morrow after the Sabbath. So let's put that up. Here we go right here. But before I get that up, I'm going to look for a calendar that has numbers on it, but I want you to forget about the days. Now, can I do that? Yes, I can do that. I'm going to show you the calendar, or a calendar, and what I'm going to do is show you a calendar that has the 15th on a Wednesday. The 15th, but I need one that really has the 14th on a Wednesday. So let me just roll back and let me find a calendar or month. Here's one right here. Here's the 14th on a Wednesday. Forget about the month. I'm just putting the day on the week. This is Passover right here. 3 days and 3 nights is right here. Sundown Wednesday to sundown Thursday. Sundown Thursday to sundown Friday. Sundown Friday to sundown Saturday. Right there. 3 days and 3 nights. But then we read on the morrow after the Sabbath, which is going to be right here on a Sunday, the priest shall wave it. Now let's leave that right there, and we're going to come back to this calendar. But we're going to go read where Jesus, when he resurrected, you couldn't touch him. We're going to go read that. And it says this: the first day of the week cometh Mary Magdalene early, when it was yet dark, unto the sepulchre, and seeth the stone taken away from the sepulchre. She runneth and cometh unto Simon Peter. She came to Simon Peter and the other disciple whom Jesus loved, right? And this is what she said to them. She went to these guys. They have taken away the Lord out of the sepulchre, and we know not where they have laid him. I'm going to skip that because we know what happened then. They came, they looked in, they didn't see him. It was confusing to them. They left and they went on their way. But Mary went back and looked again. So let's go read that. Verse 11. But Mary stood without at the sepulchre weeping. That means on the outside. And as she wept, she stooped down and looked into the sepulchre. Now, she already knows that the body's not there, but for whatever reason, she looked in it again. This time, she sees 2 angels in white sitting, one at the head, the other at the feet, where the body of Jesus had lain. And they said unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? She said unto them, Because they have taken away my Lord, and I know not where they have laid him. And when she had thus said, she turned herself back and saw Jesus standing. But guess what? She didn't know that it was Jesus. And she said, and he said unto her, Jesus said unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? Whom you seeking for? She, supposing him to be the gardener, said unto him, Sir, if thou have borne him hence, meaning if you have taken him from this place, tell me where thou have laid him, and I will take him away. Jesus said unto her, Mary. She turned herself and said unto him, Rabboni, which is to say, Master. Jesus said unto her, and here's where we're going, touch me not, for I have not yet ascended unto my Father. This is so crucial, brothers and sisters, in understanding Leviticus the 23rd chapter. But if you don't accept Jesus as being connected, and I know the Messianic brothers and sisters out there, you say that you accept Jesus, but you're getting your instructions from a group who don't receive Jesus as being the Messiah. That lies the problem. You're getting your information from the Jewish interpretation of Pentecost being the day that the law was given, because you're getting your information from folks who don't see Jesus as the Messiah. They don't see Jesus that all the law, all the prophets, all the Psalms spoke concerning him. So therefore, their information is limited to assume what the feast days mean. So therefore they say, they say things like Rosh Hashanah is the New Year. The Feast of Trumpets has nothing to do, Feast of Trumpets is not the New Year. But when you don't understand, because the instruction book was never given to you to teach, then you say things like Happy Rosh Hashanah, meaning Happy New Year, as if the first day of the seventh month is a new year. Has nothing to do with it, a new year. Just like Pentecost is not the day that the law was given. You're getting your information from the wrong people who don't accept Christ. So my Messianic brothers and sisters, you're going out, and when Feast of Rosh Hashanah trumpets come by, Brother Larry, they walk around saying, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And it has nothing to do with it being the new year. Evidently, they miss Exodus, the 12th chapter, when he says, this month shall be the beginning of months to you. It's the first month of the year to you. You can't have two New Years within less than a 12-month period. But when you get your information from the wrong folk, you say things that's out of sequential order and just totally off base. Touch me not, for I am not yet ascended. Why could not Mary touch him? Let's go to Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. Here we go, right here. Verse 11, you shall wave the sheep before the Lord to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. Then it goes on to say in verse 14, ye shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the self same day that you have brought an offering unto your God. What offering are they talking about? It's all here in the same paragraph. It's your sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. So when you bring your harvest, which is your green ears, your corn, all of that, you can't eat it until the self same day that you gave it to your priest to be waved and accepted for you. And that can be only done on the morrow after the weekly Sabbath. So let's go back over to John, 20th chapter, verse 17. He said unto her, touch me not, for I am not yet ascended unto my Father. Well, why does he have to go? Because he's the first fruits. First fruits of what? He's the first fruits of the resurrected. So he has to go up. He has to ascend, and he has to be waved. Why does he have to be waved? He's the first fruits of the resurrected. He is the first fruits of the harvest of the resurrected. Why is that? Because Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, tells us the rules and of engagement when it comes to the harvest. Don't touch it until it's been waved. So Mary can't touch it. Later that night, guess what? After he had been waved, after he had been accepted, guess what? He's back, and now he can be touched. Yeah, he can be touched now. The same day at evening, being the first day of the week when the doors were shut, the disciples were ascended for the fears of the Jews, came Jesus and stood in the midst and said, peace be unto you. And when he had so said, he showed them his hands and his sides. And then were the disciples glad when they saw Jesus. Luke describes it as says that they initially thought they saw a ghost. And then he says, handle me. It is I. Look, it's I. Let's go read that in the book of Luke real quick so we can see that. So you can get the full perspective of it. Luke, the 24th chapter. Verse 36. This is the sequence, same sequel order when Jesus came in and said, peace be unto you, later that day, the same day of the week. And as they spake, Jesus himself stood in the midst of them and said, peace be unto you. Same thing we just read in John. But look at what Luke says. But they were terrified and affrighted and supposed that they had seen a spirit. And he said unto them, why are you troubled? Why do thoughts arise in your hearts? Behold my hands and my feet. Like he said, look at me, handle me. Behold my hands and my feet, that it is I. But check this out. Handle me. Handle me. Let's go back to Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. Verse 11. When you get your first fruits, Jesus is the first fruits. When the harvest comes out of the ground, what does Jesus have to do to come out of the ground? He's got to be resurrected. And he's the first fruits of what? According to Paul's teaching to the Corinthians. He's the first fruits of the resurrected. You got to wave your sheep before the Lord to be accepted for you. When is that? On the morrow after the Sabbath. What day is that? When is the morrow after the Sabbath? The first day of the week, when Mary went there. And ye shall offer that day when you wave the sheaf, and he lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto the Lord. That he lamb without blemish is representing Christ. And again in verse 14, you should eat it, nor you can't eat this bread or parched corn or green ears until the same day you have brought your offering unto your God. When is that? On the first day of the week. So I told Mary, go tell the brethren, I'm going to my Father, their Father, my God, your God. I'm going up. I'm going to ascend. Why is he ascending? He's going to ascend as the first fruits of the resurrected to be accepted and to be waved. But let's look at verse 15, because we're digging deeper and we're going to get into the counting. Ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath. What is that? The first day of the week. From the day you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, that's what the Lord said, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall you number 50 days. Now let's go back to our calendar, because, brothers and sisters, here's the law, and I want you to look at it. On the morrow after the Sabbath, which is a Sunday, the day that you brought the waving of the offering, I want you to go from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's one Sabbath. Then go Sunday, first day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, seventh day. That's the second Sabbath. And do that all over again and repeat it until 7 Sabbaths. 7 times 7 is 49. But the morrow after the 7th Sabbath, which will be Pentecost, you should number 50 days. Now what this man out here is teaching, who's got it all wrong and putting this doctrine on the table because he don't exceed Jesus as the first fruits, he's got Pentecost as the giving of the law. Nope, not going to work. So let's go look at it. Let's go do some counting. Somebody put in the chat room, let's go do some counting. See, this is how we have to straighten out. And again, I'm only doing this because when I came home this evening, I got all these emails and, brother, I love you, but that's blasphemous. Please take it down. Consider what you're saying. So I can't do that. I'm going to go deeper. I'm going to go deeper until you see it. And this is how we have to do it. We got to go deeper. All right, so let's do this. So I have a calendar, and I just happened to find the month when the 14th, which was Passover at that time, falls on a Wednesday. If Jesus is the first fruits, let's go 1, 2, 3. The next day he's with Mary. The scripture says on the morrow after the Sabbath, which would be the 17th, this Sabbath here, you got to wave it. Mary can't touch him because that's the day that you present your offering to the Lord. So Jesus says, go tell the brethren, I'm going to my Father, their Father, your God, our God. He came back later that day because after you have presented the offering, now you can eat it. So he does. So let's go counting. The 18th to the 24th is 1. Here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Sabbaths, which will make this particular Sunday Pentecost. Now again, I'm just showing you, and because I'm starting on the 14th, so we can put it on a Wednesday, but that Pentecost would be right here. So I'm going to put down the 5th, just so we could see where we are. Okay, that's all I'm doing. It's not August the 5th. I'm just showing you the 5th. Now, let's show you why this cannot be the day that the Torah was given, the same as being Pentecost. Let's go back to the scriptures and let's do some calculating. All right? Let's go back over here and look at this. Where's my mouse? I know it's someplace. There it is. Let's go back to the scriptures. And we're going to go to Exodus, the 19th chapter. Because see, I was asked, can you go back and look at it and don't be afraid to show it. I'm going to show it. I'm doing it right here. In the 3rd month, kabooyah. In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt. What month is this? I would want to say this is the month of Sivan. I believe that's the month of Sivan. How are we going to know that? Because we're just going to simply say when we're going to say, what is the third Hebrew month called? Because it just says the third month, but let's get you a little bit more information. Okay? It's called Sivan, but we're going to call it the third month. So let's find out the third month when the children of Israel had gone forth out of the land. The same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. So if it's the third month when the children of Israel were gone out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness. What same day are they talking about? That's a question to the class. What same day is that? What are they talking about? Here we are in the third month when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day they came into the wilderness of Sinai. If you read that carefully, your answer is right there. What same day are they talking about that the children of Israel came into Sinai? So let's read it. In the third month when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. I know y'all a little behind me, but I want to know, in the third month, what was the date? How can we tell what date this is? Is it the 10th? Is it the 15th? Is it the 30th? What day is it? I want to see some answers. And listen, if you don't get it right, that's what we're here for. That's why we call this class. We're going to get the answer. I got one answer so far, one response so far, and it says the first day. I'm waiting for some more responses to come. In the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness. Somebody says the 14th. Somebody changed the answer to the 14th. I only got one person responding. I will say, heartfelt, I like your second answer better than the first answer, but it's still wrong, but it's very close. Very, very close. In the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness. So the question is, this same day is the same day that they were gone forth out of the land of Egypt. Shout out to Brother Ricky Brown. He got it right. The 15th day. How do we know that? Here comes a lot of people. The 15th. Y'all are all right. Heartfelt, you were very close. But let's give the answer from the scriptures. Numbers 33 and verse 1. Numbers 33 and 1. Shout out to Brother Michael, our reader. Listen to this. These are the journeys of the children of Israel which went forth out of the land of Egypt. Look at this phrase and let's go back over here. The third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day. So let's go back to Numbers. These are the journeys of the children of Israel which went forth out of the land of Egypt with their armies under the hand of Moses and Aaron. Moses wrote it down. Shout out to Moses for writing it down. Because we don't have to guess with this word, brothers and sisters. Moses wrote their going out according to their journeys. Who told him to do that? By the commandment of the Lord. Why do you think the Lord commanded Israel? Probably today, because he knew today some people were going to try to say that this particular event that happened in Exodus the 19th chapter was the giving of the law, Pentecost. Knowing that they are wrong, but thank the Lord, because to Israel has he given us the answers. All we got to do is study, return to the Lord, pray for that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and hear what Jesus is saying. The Lord will teach us through his Holy Spirit, which is through the word. So the Lord told Moses, write it down. Let's see what Moses wrote. These are the journeys according to their goings out. Let's go back and look at this. Third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out. Let's go back and read. Moses wrote their goings out according to the commandment of the Lord, and these are their journeys according to their goings out. They departed from Ramesses in the first month on the 15th day of the first month, on the morrow or the next day after the Passover. The children of Israel went out with an high hand in the sight of the Egyptians. So if Exodus says this is the third month from the day that they left out, then we know when that is. It's the 15th, on the morrow after the Passover. So in the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day they came into the wilderness of Sinai. Let's see what happened when they were there, because this is when they're getting ready to give the law. Let's see if this mentions anything about Pentecost before we go do some counting. But let's confirm that on the 15th day of the third month, when they were gone out, let's find out what happens. For they were departed from Riverdale and were coming to the desert of Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Israel camped before the mount. And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, and saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, when ye have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye will be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. All the earth is mine. So this is what he's telling them. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak to the children of Israel. So let's find out what happened. Moses came and called of the elders of the people, and laid before their faces all the words which the Lord commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, All that the Lord has spoken, we will do. Now, let's go up here. The only thing that the Lord gave them so far is this. I want you to go. Moses went up unto the Lord and called the Lord out of the mountain. And he said, This is what I want you to tell the house of Jacob, the children of Israel. Y'all saw what I did. I bared you on eagle's wings. I brought you to myself. Obey my voice. Keep my covenant. You're going to be a peculiar people to me above all people, for all the earth is mine. The law has not been given at this point. The only thing we know is that Moses has gone up. And we know that when Moses went up, because the Lord called him out of the mountain. And we know at best this is the third month, the same day that they came out. Now let's keep going. Moses came and called for the elders of the people and laid before their faces all these words which the Lord commanded them. Hey, you all, this is what the Lord just told me to tell you. Moses returned the words of the people unto the Lord, and the Lord said unto Moses, let's find out what the people said. The people answered together and said, all that the Lord has spoken we will do. So Moses tells the Lord what the people said, and the Lord said to Moses, lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak to thee, and believe thee forever. So Moses told the words of the people unto the Lord. So the Lord said unto Moses, go to the people, sanctify them today and tomorrow. Let them wash their clothes and be ready against the third day. For the third day the Lord will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. So we know that another 3 days goes by. I want you to get this. They go up, brothers and sisters. And this is the third month on the same day. Moses went down. We haven't read nothing about Pentecost yet. Moses went down from the mountain unto the people and sanctified the people and washed their clothes and said unto them, be ready against the third day and come not at your wives. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning. Third day from when? At best, we can say it was the third day from the 15th of Abib. At best, that's all that we can get from this. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the nether part of the mountain, and Mount Sinai was altogether on the smoke, because the people descended upon it in fire and what have you. And it goes on. The Lord came down. Y'all know the story. The people said, we don't want to ever hear that again. If the Lord has anything to say, let him speak to you. But listen to this. But the Lord is he's given the commandments, and this is what he said. Moses said unto the Lord, the people cannot come up into Mount Sinai, because the Lord said, don't let them come up. Set bounds about the mountain and sanctified it. And the Lord said unto him, away, get thee down, and thou shalt come up, thou and Aaron with thee. But let not the priests and the people break through to come up unto the Lord, lest he break forth upon them. So Moses went in down unto the people, and he spoke unto them. And what is he saying? God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord. I brought you out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. He goes on and gives them what the Lord later wrote with his own fingers. But all the people doing is hearing this. They're hearing the mountain wax louder and louder. They can't go up because there's a bound set around the mountain, and they can't go up, but they hear this thundering and lightning. Look at verse number 18. And all the people saw the thundering and the lightning and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoke. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar back. He didn't even have to put up no bounds, but he did. He set up some barriers. And they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. We don't want to ever hear that again. So let's go do some counting. Let's go do some counting, brothers and sisters. Let's pull back up our calendar. I gave you a date. We used for purposes. We came up with this date right here, being on a Wednesday. We're going to ignore July. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to go the morrow after you wave. You count 7 Sabbaths. That's the first. Let me go back up. That's the first Sabbath, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh. That's the 7th Sabbath. And this date right here, let me try to click over there. This date right here would be day 50. And let's go back and let's do some more counting. Let's go back to the 14th, which we had right here. This is the year that Jesus was crucified. 3 days and 3 nights later will be here. The morrow after the Sabbath will be here. Right? But now what we're going to do is we're going to come right here on the 15th, because the scripture says the same day on the 15th. The same day we're going to count the 3rd month. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. We can say 30 days because perhaps 30 days, that's a month. Let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So now what we have is 60 days. So now the best way to do it is count 15 days from July, because we already passed it. So let's go back to the 14th where we were before, and let's count 15 days. This is when they came out right here. So let's count 30. 15 would put us into the 2nd month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 30th is when it just happened to be on. After the 30th, I know this has got 131, but after the 30th, we now into the 2nd month. So let's count 30 days from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. This is now the end of the 2nd month. Let's count 15 days from here. You're going to have 1, 2, 3. Why are we counting 15 days? Because he says the same day in the 3rd month. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Do you all recall that we stopped right here as Pentecost? on this 5th, I didn't mean to do that. Let me go back. Let's go back to the month. This 5th right here is Pentecost. How do we know? Let's go back up to July. 7 Sabbaths. That's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tomorrow after the 7th Sabbath will take you to this 5th. Now, I know it says September, but I want you to work with me. That would be the 50th day. Here we are. We already started counting, and we got here that this is the start of the 3rd month, and we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we already passed this, and the Torah hasn't even been given yet. The Torah is past Pentecost. It's given right here. Then you got to go 3 days. 1, 2, 3. But we had Pentecost stopping right here. But yet, it would be given here. Now, I'm going to take the time to do it on today's calendar so it even makes sense. And let's use the exact dates that we have for Passover and count it that way. The reason why I used the 14th, because I wanted to go 3 days and 3 nights and put it like Jesus did in the day that he was crucified. But this should work no matter what year or what day the Passover falls on. So let's go back and do it again. That's why I called it Let's Dig Deeper. Let's go back to when Passover was this year. This year, Passover was right here. Let's go to March. I believe this was the, I need to go to 22, year 22. I'm in 21. So we can have it right. Here we are. Passover this year was on the 15th of this man's calendar. But let me show it to you. It was on the 15th of this man's calendar. Let's count 3 days and 3 nights. 1, 2, 3. Tomorrow after the Sabbath, which will be, this is the Sabbath. Here's day 1. Let's count 7 Sabbaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's why Pentecost is on the 12th. Let's count and see if this will take us to the same day in the 3rd month. So what we have to do, we got to go back up here to right here. That's when Passover is. This is the Feast of Unleavened Bread when they came out. So let's count. 15 days, because this is the 1st month, on the 15th of Abib. 15 days later will be the end of the month. So let's count. 1, 2, because this is the 15th. 15 days later, that's it. That's the end of the month. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right there. Let's count. This is starting the 2nd month. So this is the end. This is the start of the 2nd month. So let's just go 30 days. Make it easy for ourselves. Give or take right here. But now we got to go 15 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Here's Pentecost. 14, 15. Right there. Pentecost is here. 3rd month on the same day is right here. Exodus, 19th chapter. third month on the same day, right here. Pentecost is here, right here, brothers and sisters. So as you can see, the law was not given here. It was given at this point and at least 3 days later. So my brothers and sisters, my messianic brothers and sisters, I'm not creating blasphemy when I say that the law was not given on Pentecost. We calculated. We did it. In fact, when I got to May 1st, I took away a day that would cause it to fall short just to go with 30 days. Let me show you what I did. When I got to May, right here, this was really as the 30th day. This should have been day 1. But I gave you a day. I gave you an extra day. So I went back and said, let's count 30 days, which would end right here. Right here. So let's count 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, that's Pentecost, 14, 15. 3 days later. You see? So it don't line up. It don't line up, brothers and sisters. That's Pentecost. And the 15th day of the third month is right here or right here at best. But this is Pentecost. So it doesn't line up. I don't care how you play with it, how you try to bring your harvest out of the ground. Whenever you count from tomorrow after the Sabbath, day 1, and go 50 days and come up what day Pentecost is, and go back and count 15 days from Passover to the Feast of Unleavened Bread, go 30 days later, and then go another 15, you're going to go past Pentecost when that law was given. So it was not given on Pentecost. Where did that teaching come from? The Jewish people who don't accept Christ. If you don't see Jesus, you won't understand it. You won't understand what Feast of First Fruits is. You won't understand that you got to wait till 3 days and 3 nights later. You won't see it at all. At all. And that's what creates a problem when you don't get the oracles from Israel. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. Hope that you get more understanding. This was not for my brothers and sisters online. This is for those that watch online, got this lesson. My messianic brothers, and they often tune in, and there's no bad feelings. They often tune in, and we but when they said that was blasphemy to say that the law was not given on Pentecost, I had to come back and straighten it out. And immediately I did that. All right, that being said, brothers and sisters, we want to say peace and blessings to you. Let's go look in the chat room again before we get out of here. R. Bryant, how you doing? Quentin Rivers, how you doing? Queen Cleo, how you been? Brother Mark P, that's 2 of our moderators in the house. Shout out to both of those moderators. Sister Dahlia Padgett, Brother Mark P, we got a family in the house. All right, shout out to them. Brother Michael Brown, our reader at Bethel, shout out to him in the house. Chiruda, Juanita, Ricky Brown, Heartfelt, Sheila Clayton, how you doing, my sister? Joanne Emery, how you doing, from Gary, Indiana? Juanita, Brother Larry in the house. He was our musician today at Bethel. Ricky Brown, Alyssa, Israel, Ashaya, Donna Panquin, Canson. I think everybody else I got. Juanita, I think everybody else I got. Brother Tobiah Vickers and Sister Latoya Moore, the first in our chat room. Brother Tobiah, it's so good to see the Vickers family at Bethel today, and it was just wonderful to see them. I know that when things permit, they're there with us at Bethel in person. So we want to say to them, it was so wonderful to see you today. That is my sister Dorothy Griffith. Shout out to her. Sister Dorothy, I made mention of you today at the class just to let people know that you often ask, and I once again just highlighted the fact that you had sent a wonderful card and that you are our family. She says, I am still waiting to hear from you. Okay, send me another email. I'm a little bit maybe confused on that. Send me an email. Was I supposed to give you the addresses for the Israel of Gods in the West Coast area? If that's what it is, send me an email so I can get that information. I don't know if that was it, but let me see. R. Bryant, waiting for your rotation to teach at Raleigh IOG. Thank you, my brother. Peace and blessings to that. So we don't know. I know that it won't be in the near future because in the months to come, I'm going to be only going to Orlando. Okay, so that's the instructions that I have been given from Pastor Buie. Shout out to Pastor Buie, brothers and sisters. And I'm going to do that until further instructed, okay? Just helping out on some things over there. You promised a calendar. Sister Dorothy, I apologize. Send us your address right now. Email it to me. That's at bethelhouseofgod at gmail. And I will make sure you get a calendar coming out to you within the upcoming week. I thought you had got it, and I may not have passed on the information. But do send me that address because I thought we had sent it out to everyone. So please send me your address one more time and I will get you a calendar in the mail. All right? So my apologies for that. So brothers and sisters, it's 8:05, 2 more minutes, 3 more minutes. The sun will be down here in South Florida. And we want to say to you, happy Sabbath. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for coming into the knowledge of the Sabbath. We just pray, brothers and sisters. Thank you, Sister Queen, for the lesson today. Thank you for that. That is a lesson that I was inspired by after watching all these shootings. And I was looking and went back to an old lesson that Pastor Buie taught, talking about faith cometh by hearing, and obedience, fear by obedience. And I thought it was just so timely with all of this stuff going on, just to break it down. But yes, thank you. Brother Spence Hammond, brother, we're going to be reaching out to you. We got the men's breakfast. The first Sunday of June. Don't forget. We're going to be meeting with all the men. That's the first Sunday in June at 9 o'clock in the morning. 9 o'clock in the morning to 10:15. Okay, so come on and join us. Get breakfast with us. We miss you, my brother. Come on and join with us. We got your email. That would be at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. on the first Sunday in June. You brothers, we're going to be sending you an email. Come on out, Brother Spence. Breakfast is from 9 to 10:15. After that, I got other meetings, but we're going to be out of there at 10:15. All right? So that's going to be this Sunday. Is it this Sunday? No, not tomorrow. Not tomorrow. The first Sunday in June. I believe that's next week, Sunday. All right? But we'll give more information out on that. That being said, brothers and sisters, trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, but in all of your ways acknowledge him. And brothers and sisters, I know he will direct your path. Happy Sabbath to all of you all. Peace and blessings to all of you all. and we will see you on Monday night. God bless you.